The process leading up to the launch date was a lot of communication internally with our Laurier community. We had a date that we needed to freeze all content and freeze all technology to make sure we had enough time to do the testing, the usability testing, the accessibility testing, so that we knew we could launch on time.
We had a lot of meetings in those times with areas within the university so that everyone knew what to expect. Everyone was prepared. Our web steering committee was really great about communicating the launch date and all of the things that people could anticipate on the launch weekend.
I think that was important, not so much because people needed to know that the website was new and coming, but because it consistently gave people a touch point so that if they did have feedback, if something wasn't working, they had a really easy point of contact right away because someone was there saying, we're welcoming your feedback, we're welcoming your feedback.
From the technology point of view, you can always say when you're ready because something either works or it doesn't. But with websites, you need content. And I think having the right content and having the correct content is very important. So that needed really to be ironed out. So we knew that we would be ready sometimes in September, but you always dread that switch on date. But we were ready.
We launched on a Friday night, which was a soft launch over the weekend, and we had a lot of people within the Laurier community ready to look at the site for us from their homes. We had people in other countries ready to look at the website and test it for us. So we had a really great support system in place to check everything during the soft launch, and then we launched on a Monday officially to the outside world.
We've had overwhelmingly positive feedback from prospective students to the current students, especially the first-year students who had just gone through that process and telling us that it really does feel like Laurier.
The most rewarding part was when we brought in our student testers and we asked them to be brutal in their feedback. They really loved the website.
One student in particular kept saying over and over, this is awesome, this is awesome. He was just, I think, really surprised at how simple it was to navigate. He had some great suggestions. He used a lot of touch technology. Another student said that she uses a lot of websites every day, and our test site that we had put in front of her was one of the best, if not the best, that she had used for accessibility. So that was very rewarding to hear.
Accessible websites benefit me in general because they give me the same access to information as anyone else without a challenge would have. Technology actually makes me a lot more productive than I would be elsewhere, right? And so doing things like paperwork on computer makes the workforce a lot more accessible to me than it would be otherwise.
One of the things I was really happy to see on the new website was our accessibility button on the bottom of the homepage, which gives users a really good introduction to how our website works with different browsers, who they can contact if they need help, what standards and regulations our website is at and where we're going. I think that's really important to have that information out there so that people know if there's a problem with the website and it's not working with their assistive technology, they don't have to fumble around trying to find the right person to contact. It's prominent on the new website.
So for other organizations that would embark on a project similar to this, I would suggest to have a dedicated project team, but the project team that's constantly aware of what was going on within the institution, and I think the communication is key as well. Going back and forth with the project team and the users is really important.
A video such as this and the feedback that came from the testing process is in a way benefiting those organizations by extension, because they are getting the feedback from the Accessible Learning Center and the students that use it. So it's good that feedback is being extended for the wider community's benefit.
A key feature of our content management system is it does have the accessibility functions built into it. So every time there is an update within the accessibility legislation, it will be updated within our content management system. We also will continually collaborate with our accessibility office and the Accessible Learning Center to make sure if they're hearing anything or if they need us to change anything that we're able to do that.
I would say something that's really important to keep in mind after you've launched your site is that even if you're doing you're checking all of your boxes and you're doing all of the right steps, that you'll still come across someone who might be facing a barrier, that assistive technologies change, and that there's so much diversity in terms of disability that you can't possibly know for sure that there aren't barriers. So to keep an open mind and to keep those feedback processes open is really essential.